All right, guys, welcome back to the ALG podcast. And I want to welcome you to a very special episode. It is our Golden 30. That's right. If you've been rocking with us
Dirty
since
30, baby.
Oh, God, it's the Dirty 30. If you've been rocking with us since day one, I want to thank you for coming back all 29 times and welcome you to time 30. Fuck this intro. We're not doing it.
We're locked in.
No, we're not.
We are. We're locked in. We're locked in. So we're going to transition. Nope. We're still going. And so one of the things that I'm really excited about as we continue with this, we're going to go with it, is this is a cool episode because this is the day before Thanksgiving as we're recording this right now. So it's a time for reflection. It's a time for some gratitude. And I mean, we just hit 2,500 views on the audio version. We're at like almost 4,000 views on YouTube. Mm-hmm. We have like 160 people in the Discord server.
Damn, talk to me, baby.
Yeah, we got I'm a numbers guy, as you know, so I keep on this stuff. And so it's been cool. It's cool to reflect back. I think this episode is just going to be a quick like 25, 30-minute where we're going to reflect on what the podcast has been to us, what ALG has been to us thus far, and we're just going to try and chop it up.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been quite a ride.
It has been.
Yeah, dude.
And it's funny because one of the things that we did exceptionally well the first month and a half of really staying on our game of recording episodes way out in advance. So we're putting ourselves. I would give us
the benefit of that. I would say like the first 2 months.
That's 2 months. And we've been playing by the seat of our pants a little bit, and we got to get back to some semblance of consistency on the getting ourselves ahead of time, because that's been fun the last few weeks. But
you know what, playing catch up is sometimes it can be a lot of fun. You know,
and COVID times.
Listen,
COVID times.
Whole company was basically created during COVID, so
literally, yeah, we built this entire thing off of COVID and never meet. We still physically haven't met in person yet, and it's so weird.
The world just won't let us.
We were about to, and then all of a sudden, COVID comes back in and goes, nope. He was about to fly out to Michigan so we can. We're coming out with the Accountable Life Journal, and he was about to come out so we can make these videos. We're gonna have these bonus videos that go with the journal. It's gonna be really cool. But we were just like, you know what? COVID's coming back. We're not gonna. We're gonna be respectful to the times, and so we're just gonna do them over Zoom. But we built this whole thing.
It done.
This is the whole thing, and like this is why it's so fucking important, people. Your life is never about the circumstances. Nope. Your life is how you deal with those circumstances. Most people are bitching and moaning, eating their face off, smoking way too much, drinking way too much. They're getting the COVID 300, and then they're like, oh my gosh. And it's like, no, we started a company while everyone else is folding. We're just running by the seat of our fucking pants.
It's crazy to me. I mean, I think back on it, and like, my friends, my family ask me, what's going on with it? How's the ALG thing going? And I can never really say like anything bad. Like,
no,
the world kept throwing curveballs and we just kept knocking them. So, hey man, here's the 30, here's the, 3,000 more. I mean, it's been fun,
It's been interesting too. And like, I'm not going to be sunshine and rainbows. I wish things have gone faster, as everyone does.
Hey.
But like, I'm just grateful we've been so consistent. Like, we've never missed a week. And like,
no, we've never missed a week.
Never missed a week.
And if we ever had to miss a recording, we make up the recording right after.
Exactly. So, but we've never had to stop the tradition of hitting Fridays, hitting everything, our Wednesday night calls. I mean, we've been consistent. I mean, even tonight, we're doing the Wednesday night call before Thanksgiving. Obviously, people traveling, doing what they're going to do. It's going to be just like a shindig. It's not going to be a depth of a conversation, but it's going to be a fun time just chopping it up with people.
Yeah. I mean, I think for like what ALG has been to me, I don't know about you, David, but like for me, it's been, if you have a goal, you set a goal of doing something, and you kind of do whatever you can to make it happen, and you throw enough shit against the wall, something will stick. And, David and I, I work a regular job. David works a regular job. I do my Instagram shit. He does his. And at the end of our day, my day's not done now until, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30 on a Wednesday now. Or, when on a Saturday, there's no more sleeping in, because, we have to record a podcast, or we have to, set up the next thing that we're going to do. We've been working really hard. I mean, I'm going to test it all to David when it comes to the journal. David has put a lot of heart and soul into the journal that is going to drop soon. And when that thing comes out, man, I don't know. Like, I've thought about it, and I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, damn, it's going to be like a proud, happy dad moment. Like, like, holy crap. Like, I wish I had a tape recorder for like the first time me and David talked on the phone, and we like discussed what ALG could be. It didn't have a name, and
I will attest to the name was you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You came up with the name. I called it something shitty at first.
Something shitty.
It was something bad. You ALG and Accountable Life Group. That was all you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'll never forget it because it was like the middle of June or July or something. And I'm in my car and I'm sitting in bumper to bumper traffic wherever I was going. And at first, like, again, I didn't know David. David didn't know me. And I was just like, this kid has a great idea, but, everyone has a great idea. And, who really follows through on these crazy ideas? You follow what I'm saying? So after we chopped it up that first time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to kind of give this a shot and let's see kind of what happens. And, we met before this was even a thing. Like, we were meeting every Wednesday night religiously over Zoom, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. We were meeting when it both fit our schedule and hashing things out, setting things up, just piecing together ideas of what could be. And then I'll never forget when you turned around to me and you were like, I want to set up this community. Originally this was just gonna be a podcast and we were going to chop the shit and we were going to have a guest and we were going to be just like every other podcast. And then David had this idea of, what if we were able to bring together a bunch of people? And I was like, well, I know nothing. Listen, I know nothing about technology, guys. The fact that I even get Zoom up on this computer every week is surprising to me. But when he said that, it was just like the wheels started turning and I was like, can this kid really put together a program or set something up or find something where we can actually get all these people together? And now, like David said at the beginning of the podcast, we have 162 active members in the community off of social media, not owned by a Zuckerberg. Well, it could be, but I don't know. It's not owned by Zuckerberg as far as I'm concerned. And it's just wild. Like when you keep doing something and you say you're going to do it and you follow through, and it's that word that revolves around my life. Accountable.
Accountability.
Yeah. It's just crazy how that works. Commitment, determination.
You just figure it the fuck out. I love the one thing. I'll even double down on top of the Discord server as well, which this is what I've wanted it to turn into, and it's starting to move that way. Which is like, there are so many cool success stories already in there that did it completely differently. And it's nice that everyone gives their 2 cents. Like if someone has a question, they're like, hey, this is what I did. Hey, this is what I recommend to you. Yep. But there hasn't been in 4 months of we have what, 15 to 20 people in there that have lost over 150 pounds.
Yeah.
When you think about when people's ego takes over real quick and they're like, no, you have to do it this way. And we haven't had that struggle too much yet. I mean, there's been some friction, don't get me wrong, but it's been really cool to see people that have had such success in their weight loss give value, but not hold it in this ego sense of like, this is how you have to do it. And, that's been a really cool thing to see.
I think when we started this, David's book is called Drop the Baggage. And we both agreed when we started ALG in the ALG community that if you were going to be a part of the ALG community, you not only had to drop your baggage, you had to drop your ego, your bullshit, leave everything at the door. You have to come in as vulnerable as possible, because if you're not vulnerable and you can't be around yourself, you can't be yourself around these people, there's not much success that you can be, that you can make. If you can't give 100% of yourself to somebody who's trying to help you, then you might as well not give anything at all.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. And it's been cool because like we're in this like the first 5 months has been just straight value, like just a quick shout out. And it's cool because people have been doing it in different ways, save for the Discord server itself and people communicating in there, how people have had some serious momentum. One of them that's not in the Discord server, it's just not his deal, but he's watched our episodes religiously. Mikey, huge shout out to you. He's a buddy of mine who lives in Grand Rapids, who was pushing 600 at one point. And through watching our episodes and really getting into a good mental place of lifestyle, figuring out what the nutritional lifestyle for him is going to be. He's gained and lost 150 pounds 3 times. And he's down 50 right now. He just hit it like last week. And he messaged me and put it on his Facebook. He's like, it just feels different this time. He was just really saying the lifestyle of creating this consistent action that I know I'm going to do for the rest of my life. He's like, I know this one's different. And so just that alone, people just listening to the podcast and being able to get that kind of value has been really cool to see.
Yeah, man. I mean, just people hearing about it, like that's something that I'm not over either, is like people in everyday walk of life, like in my everyday walk of life. Like I was speaking to my sister the other day and she had gone out with some friends, and you know, one of her friends, who I don't even know personally, never really had a conversation with the kid or anything, turned around and was like, hey, how's your brother's company ALG doing? And my sister was like, oh, you know, it's doing pretty well. Like, how do you know about it? Oh, well, you know, I've seen it pop up here. You know, I see him post about it, this, that, and the third. And like, I have people, you know, asking me, how do you get on the Discord server? How do you do that? Like, and it's just mind boggling to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just can't get over the fact that, like, yeah, everything that you do in life, you want to be successful. You want it to catch on. But when I tell you that I didn't expect for what it is right now, for it to be what it is right now, like I'm not just like fluffing the podcast. I gave a fuck about that. And if you know me and you've listened to this podcast or you follow me on Instagram, like I give a fuck about that.
No, it's your life and soul, man.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it is my life and soul.
You know who I am?
Do you? Do you know who I am?
I speak on the Accountable Life Group, man.
Yeah.
You better make me skip the lines at Disney World.
Damn right. Damn right. And if you ever want to skip the lines at Disney World, just text me out.
That's funny. Sally. No, it's been cool. So I got a question for you. What's been over the last 30 episodes, or this being the 30th, what have been your favorite moments of the past? I know it's on the spot, and gosh, it's tough. Trying to think.
Who was the first person to ever call you out about the not editing thing?
Oh, who was the first person? Wait, to call me out like on a podcast?
Like on the podcast. I know who it was, like off air, and we were all just like, who? But who was it on the podcast?
Was it Ange?
Was it Ange? Guys, by the way, this whole
Something
not editing the podcast thing is just an ongoing joke now.
I feel like I have to now. I've edited the last 2 in these little spots, and it almost hurts my soul.
I know.
Because like I like the idea of the Joe Rogan where it's like you just don't touch it. It is what it is. He
likes me to sound like an idiot sometimes. Like this whole beginning of this podcast, I hope like if anyone made it to this point, like,
it's staying, baby.
Yeah.
Authenticity to the day I die.
No, I better yet, what is your favorite moment of the last 29 episodes?
All right, he's pivoting. I respect it.
He's like, oh fuck.
Damn it. I will say I've had a couple. Looking back on it, I enjoy the joke that when we have these moments of like roller coasters. At the beginning, we had this roller coaster trend.
Yeah,
I so enjoyed that. Like,
oh yeah,
you all talked about it. Poro talked about it. Gourmet talked about it.
I think Keto D talked about it.
Talked about it. There was this point at the beginning before we had literally any girls on the episode. Yes. I'm sorry, and we're still working on that.
By the way, we hear you. We understand. They're going to be this.
We're working.
I act like they're a different species. No, there's going to be a lot more influential women that'll be on this podcast.
We're working on it. We've been moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
We're in the right. But just that, I don't know. There's just such camaraderie in these stories that make you always just feel good, and it's like. That'd be something I really enjoy. I'll admit it's a little more selfish, but last week's episode was kind of fun just because I was somewhat a piece of it, which is kind of cool.
So last week's episode was really cool for me on an outside perspective because, like I said, you know, when we met, I knew you had the book, and I never read the book, and I still haven't read the book. I'm gonna be honest with you, babe. Sorry. I will read the book though. No, you won't. But I never experienced anybody.
Don't say something you won't do.
Shut the fuck up. I'm going to read your book. I never met anybody or had a conversation with anyone for that matter who actually read your book. So seeing that and seeing and hearing how you help influence Alex's life was kind of, you know, breathtaking for me, for lack of better terms, because I was just like, holy shit, this random kid from Michigan that I decided to team up and make a business with isn't full of shit.
No, 100%. No, like,
You know?
I tell you what, I'll go on that. I'll double down there. It is so crazy because like especially weight loss, but again, it's not weight loss specific. I mean, there's so many areas of life where self-worth and like can be an issue.
Right.
And it is just so crazy to me how you get some people that will, yes, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, pay me $250 a month and I will help you lose weight.
Right.
And they get it. And then there's people like myself and stuff where it's like, I've been very humble, even with the knowledge I have, where it's like getting people to like getting myself to say, you have to pay me $200 a month to help you lose weight. I'm like, am I really worth $200 a month?
Yeah, dude. Like, I won't even accept compliments. You want me to start accepting money? Like,
it is an interesting quarrel.
Yeah.
It's an interesting situation where like, and so that experience with Alex, just him saying that my book had that kind of value, was a really confident building moment. And so that was really cool moment.
It was, you were able to see your work at play.
Yeah.
You know, it was cool. It was really cool for me. Something else, you know, this podcast has kind of helped me, and I'm sure it helped, you know, David as well, pivot into finally coming and having face-to-face encounters with people that we interact with on Instagram every day. Mm-hmm. So for example, London Papa Michael, shout out to him. Huge inspiration. If you're not following him or you haven't listened to his episode on here, please do. You know, he was following my journey for quite a bit, and we had connected. We were supposed to meet up, you know, one time in New York. It didn't pan out. And then finally, the first time we ever really spoke face-to-face legitimately was on this podcast, which was super cool. Another person that I could put in that category was Sugar Free Rich. Mm-hmm. I had been, you know, friends with Sugar Free Rich on Instagram, and we have mutual friends in real life, and we just never had the opportunity to meet. And then finally we did this podcast, and it brought us to, you know, brought us closer together. You know, if anything, you know, this has improved relationships, you know, on Instagram through, you know, because we all have a similar goal. You know, we all want to help and inspire. And Rome wasn't built in a day, guys, right? But they laid bricks by the hour. But the Romans had to come together to lay those bricks. It wasn't one individual guy who was laying bricks to build the Roman Empire. True. So we need to come together as a community. And that's what this was. That's what this ALG thing is, trying to help create a community.
And I gotta tell you one. Caleb has been. I've built this friendship with Caleb over the last few months. That's been so much fun. Yeah. And like Goal Crusher, if you don't know, on Instagram. And Caleb,
that's his boy. That's his boy.
It's so funny. Like Caleb and I have built a strong, and it's so weird. It's so unique how social media and like podcasts and everything that's happening right now can be your greatest friend or your biggest enemy. And it is crazy how that can happen, because like for what we have been doing over the last 4-5 months, when it comes to the podcast and the Discord server and building the community and the support and seeing that grow and flourish and seeing the benefits from it. At the same time, there are people out there just being destructive on these social media platforms and watching their life fall apart as they compare themselves negatively to others, and how they sit here and belittle and do all these types of things. It is so fascinating kind of seeing the best and the worst out of these platforms and trying to navigate it correctly.
Yeah, it's a lot of raking through bullshit to find
100%. Yeah, like it is crazy to me how many people have a voice.
Yes,
probably shouldn't.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like,
or how many people don't have a voice that really should.
No, like both sides of it. But it's like, gosh, you hear some people that have 200,000 followers, 1 million followers, and they're talking bullshit.
I think a prime example of something we had on here. Fat Chance Trying. If you don't follow Fat Chance Trying, please, for the love of God, follow Fat Chance Trying. He's somebody who I feel like Now, followers don't matter, folks. Don't ever think that followers equate to anything real in life. But if there's someone who I feel like should have more followers on Instagram because of how good he does for himself and how good he does for the world and the people that follow him, it's Fat Chance Trying. Chance is an amazing, amazing dude. He is real as can be. He's hardworking, and he's literally shown that, nothing is impossible, man. He's lost well over 300 pounds at this point. And it's just so crazy to me to see. And then there's people that are, doing stupid shit on Instagram and TikTok, and they have fucking millions of followers, and I don't get it.
$2 million to do bullshit.
To do nothing. To do absolutely nothing.
It's crazy. But we're going to change that trend, people.
Yeah, we are.
Authenticity, building value, and I don't know. I do believe in the law of inevitable certainty, which is, if you don't know what the law of inevitable certainty, when you do the right things long enough and consistently, you can have anything.
Yep.
Now, what are those right things? You have to navigate till you figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
What's long enough till you get the result you want, and what's consistently? Every fucking day.
Yep.
Every fucking day. Amen. And it's inevitable, like whatever you're looking for. And so that just kind of helps me, like, hey, navigating this idea of where ALG is now to where it's going. I don't friggin' know. I don't have all the answers. I know that as stuff comes up, we're going to have to deal with, we're going to adjust. Yeah. We're going to keep building more value. That's where I'm really excited for this next kind of stage we're getting into. We're actually getting into like direct value. Like, so the journal we're coming out with, we're looking at possibly building like actual, like a group coaching kind of mentality of accountability. Yep. We're looking at a Patreon for support. We're looking at some of these different things to help build direct value, because there is something to be said where it's, as soon as you have money in the game, it just it connects differently. That's where it's like, oh, I paid $20 for this, I'm gonna get the value.
Yep.
I paid $100 for this, I'm gonna get the value. That's why there's something to be said of when you pay a personal trainer $700 for 15, 20 sessions, you're like, I'm gonna get yoked because I just dropped $700. Right. And like, I feel like it has more to do with like, all right, I just made a big investment, I'm going to make this work. Amen. And so it is gonna be fun as we shared over these last 5 months. We know what we're talking about, and we've been doing this, and we're respectable on it. It's gonna be fun, the starting of this next season of like the new year, really getting into value. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before. Obviously, eventually me and David are going to start pivoting ALG into group and one-on-one coaching, and I can't wait to be able to do that. To be able to add like you just said, value to somebody's life. What we do for free is awesome, and I never want to stop doing for free. Is that weird? Like the weekly call holds a special place in my heart, and it's not something that I would ever take away from people. I enjoy it. I look forward to it. I think it's more of a therapy session for me than it is anything else. But I don't know. I lost my whole train of thought there. And
as we actually add value, and like,
it's just going to create something different and cool. And I know we've been saying that for so long. It's been 5 months, and we keep saying it's going to be different and cool. It is. It already is different and cool. I don't feel like this is your run of the mill. There's nothing like it. Like, I can't even compare it to anything else.
I've been teasing conversations with people about building an app too. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how.
I don't want to expose too much on the podcast, David, right now.
We're just going to, we're teasing here. We're teasing.
Right. You can't send everyone non-disclosures.
Delete. Cutting this out. No, I'm not cutting this out. I'm a goofball.
All right. 3 things that you're looking forward to in ALG.
3 things I'm looking forward to in ALG. I'm really looking forward to the direct coaching, or the direct results that are tangible that we can connect to. I think it's gonna be so cool as the journal comes out and stuff like that, and then seeing 6 months of people using the journal, and all of a sudden they say, hey, I've lost 40 pounds, I feel better, I blah 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 from using the journal. Like, stuff like that is going to be massive for me. I'm looking forward to. Number 2, I'm looking forward to getting some like wild guests. I want to swing for the fence. I want to get like Dwayne Johnson. It's going to happen. I'm just going to say it right now. I'm speaking it to the world. We're getting The Rock on here sometime. There's some other
We've
people
said it
involved.
a few times. I think if we keep saying it enough times, he'll just magically appear.
Exactly. He's just going to hear it. Someone's going to be connected to Dwayne, and they're going to watch this episode and be like, all right, I'm hitting Dwayne.
That's the one.
It's going to happen.
Yep.
And then number 3, I'm excited to see how it like really pushes me. Cause I mean, obviously, we've been pretty accountable. I would say, just like a rising tide raises all ships. And as I become more accountable and do things at my peak level,
right,
it just makes everyone else better. Like that's one of the biggest things for me that I found. Even my weight loss was when I lost almost 200 pounds, I saw my parents lose some weight. I saw friends around me lose some weight. And so like, as I take on this next journey of not necessarily weight loss, but like financial success and impact,
right,
it's going to be really cool to see how the people around me and stuff like that kind of raise their own levels.
I like that. Do you have any questions for me, David?
What's your favorite color?
I don't have favorites, okay, David, because that's disrespectful. I like everyone equally.
I like every color equally.
Someone at work told me that today, and I'm
Magenta.
actually really glad. I'm really glad I got to use that.
Magenta.
All right, guys. Well, I think we've been going on, and you're probably tired of hearing us talk. But sincerely, like we're really
appreciate
thankful.
everyone listening.
Yeah, this was a Thanksgiving episode. This was just about bullshitting and catching up, and hopefully, you got a little entertainment out of it. If you are listening to this on Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving. If you're listening to this after Thanksgiving, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving.
And go for a run. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't do that. Do that, but don't. I want to especially thank every active member in the ALG community.
100%.
Specifically, guys, and we're not playing favorites here, but I specifically want to thank Angela for all the hard work she does
100%.
in the ALG community. She is the best person ever because, if there's anything that me and David ever need, she's always there. And she just helps keep the ball rolling. So big shout out to Ange. Shout out to the whole community. Man, thanks. Thanks, David.
I appreciate it. Thank you, brother.
I'm thankful for you, bro.
I'm grateful.
Thanks for taking a shot on some random jerk off in New York.
The sequence of events is still so fucking funny.
It's so funny. So funny. I can't wait for the movie to come out. All right, guys. Well, from my heart to your heart, nothing but love.
Love you guys.
Toodles. Bye.